So, back a few weeks, I was getting myself a really good piece of mining gear, which is a titanium drill DRX655. And as I was crafting it, I noticed something odd. And that is the huge margin between the raw craft cost and the lowest bin, which is about 80 million coins. And you may ask yourself, how the hell does this work? And the answer, my friend, is Forge. So, why does Forge work this way? Well, the first one is forging takes time, and time is worth money. The second is people are lazy, and the third is being lazy doesn't give them any loss. Why are they lazy? Because they can just buy this off of the auction house for the price that's listed here, and not waste any time forging it, getting the required levels, required materials, yada yada yada. And why does it not give them any loss? Because they can sell them for the exact same price, maybe even higher, flip them, because the price always stays like this, hyperinflated. So how can you take advantage of this? Well, there are a few important steps. The first one is, you're really gonna need the Quick Forge perk. Now, this requires a Heart of the Mountain level, so you're going to have to sacrifice a bit of your Heart of the Mountain tree at some point down the line. But at level 20, this decreases the time it takes to forge by 30%, which is a huge difference. And again, time is money, and we don't want to lose any time. We want to make stuff as fast as possible. The second one is knowing how the forge works. Basically, you have 5 slots, which you should have unless you're an absolute boss. And you basically craft whatever materials or equipment you want to craft from here. But you don't want to select every single piece of items that is here to craft. You want to choose the most profitable and worth it ones. And in my opinion, I guess you could say that going for the big ones is always more profitable because, I mean, have you seen these margins? 80 million, 50 million, 50 million? You don't want to compare it to these, right? But here's the thing. Crafting these small ones is very advantageous because they serve as ingredients for the big guns. And then you can decrease the cost they take to craft by a lot more. For example, my titanium drill would have cost 150 million to craft by calculations, but it only cost a good old 125 million. So what items should you forge? Well, first of all, you have to pick. For example, the mithril plate here is a really good example. You can see that it has almost double the price on the auction house that you can craft it for. But it also needs a golden plate. As you can see, the golden plate is not very impressive in terms of a flip, only about 500k, and the item is quite cheap. And you may ask yourself, or maybe you're lazy, and think, should I really waste time crafting these golden plates, or should I just buy them off the auction house and craft the mithril plates right away? And from my experience, I can say that buying golden plates off of the auction house speeds the crafting up by a considerable amount, and it maybe is worth it to get more money than if you were to craft them manually, because as you can see, the margin is just not worth it. This goes for all the items you can buy in the bazaar as well. So after all, what items would I recommend you craft? Starting with the drill engine, it doesn't really do anything, it's just used to craft higher tier stuff, but as you can see, the margin is already 1 million, you can choose just to sell this alone, or if you want to get even more money, you can craft bigger things. For example, the mithril plated drill engine, this is already a 9 million flip. The ruby polished is basically the same thing, super cheap. As you can see, it's an even bigger margin. You can then go for the titanium sapphire up until you get to the amber polished. This one is already a 50 million profit item. The mithril infused fuel tank is somewhat not very worth it, but you can use it to maximize your profit if you're trying to craft, for example, the titanium infused fuel tank or the gemstone fuel tank, all the way up to the perfectly cut fuel tank. And this, just like the amber polished drill engine, is already a 50 million coin profit. The other thing that you can obviously craft are drills. This is what it takes to craft a titanium drill X655. This is what it takes for a 555, which is what you need for the 655. And this is what you need for the 455, which is what you need for the 555. I'd say this is the part where, as you can see, the margin is too small for it to be worth your time. So, in my opinion, just buy this one off of the auction house straight away. And then you actually start upgrading. As you can see, the margin in this item is already about, I'd say, almost 50 million, about 45, which is already so much worth it. And as you can see, you have these juicy mithril plates here that you can just craft for half the price, and then you get even more profit off of this. Then, to actually craft the X655, you get more mithril plates, just some bizarre items, gemstone mixtures, and corleonite? Yeah, a problem here starts to rise. This also happens with gemstone mixtures, corleonites, the same thing that recalls back to the amber polished drill engine with the Robotron reflectors, and the perfectly cut fuel tank with gemstone mixtures, and even worse, synthetic hearts. So, what's the problem? I can just boot up Auction House to show you real quickly. This is the whole supply of corleonite right now. I swear, it's usually better than this. But as you can see, the margin rises so goddamn quickly. And you wanna compare the prices of these? Yeah, you're spending pretty much 300k more per corleonite if you just buy them in bulk, because again, the sellers can just do that. So what's the actual strategy for surpassing this? Well, you just need to buy them over time. You know, forging takes days, sometimes the whole process can take a week or more, and during that time, whenever you're online, you constantly check auctions and constantly buy the cheapest items that you need available. And if you do that periodically, once you actually get to crafting your item, you'll have, for example, the 30 corleonite you wanted, because you just bought the cheapest ones over and over and over from time to let them actually refill the market. As you can see, forging is quite overpowered, and I don't think people caught the wind of it quite yet, although it's been out for more than a year. And with the Crystal Halls update, it became absolutely busted. So I hope you, kids, will be forging more often from now on. And that's all for today, and I'll see you guys next time.